Taoiseach, tá gealtainn is sa léir sa ferógra ní déag séag. A léir an go choram cóthram a thabhairt de aithin paiste sa náisiún. Agus sa léir go bhfuil an gealtainn is sin scríosta. Agus bhí anad an dón ormsa nar a léim é ar maidin faoin na paiste a fuarbásnar a bhí siad a goram an Stoich. Taoiseach, it's deeply shocking that at the height of the Celtic Tiger, 196 young people died while in the care of the state or in contact with child protection services. And the report to be released earlier today and its media coverage this morning makes very distressing reading. 112 of these deaths were due to non-natural causes such as drug overdoses, suicides, unlawful killings or road traffic accidents. And the report finds, we're told, that earlier and more consistent intervention could have helped these children to overcome their vulnerabilities. Taoiseach, Sinn Féin has warmly welcomed the work that your government has done, the appointment of a Minister for Children and Youth Affairs, and we commend Ira Fitzgerald's work. We commend and welcome the publication of the Children's First Bill. But these children and their families have been failed by the state. It's a long way from cherishing all the children of the nation equally, and it's an indictment of the failure, the refusal, I would say, to invest during the boom years in adequate public services. So, Taoiseach, equality, where is equality in this state for these families? So are you satisfied now that the injustices identified in this report in relation to the systems of care for vulnerable children and young people have been rectified? And crucially important, will the required resources in terms of personnel, social workers and other resources be put in place, or have they been put in place, to ensure that our child protection services are fit for purpose?
Thank you, Deputy. Taoiseach.
This is obviously an independent report, and I commend Jeffrey Shannon and Nora Gibbons for the clarity and the research and the analysis that they've carried out in respect of what is a harrowing tale and a litany of shame in many respects that's happened here. I recall Deputy Adams on that side of the House asking questions, leaders' questions and so on work that was put in place principally by Deputy Shatter at the time, in trying to ascertain the numbers of children who were involved here. And there was great confusion about it. There were answers given from government of the time that the numbers were 20 or 25 or 27. Well, we now know the facts of this. And that independent inquiry was commissioned by the Minister of State, Minister Andrews at the time. The fact of the matter is, Deputy Adams, the report deals with the lives of 196 children who at some stage or other were known to the HSE. Of that 196, there were 112 unnatural deaths. And of that 112, there were 17 in the care of the HSE. The report will speak for itself when it's published by the Minister for Children today. And this occurred, as you point out, during the so-called days of the Celtic Tiger, with a veneer of endless wealth. And it is an analysis of the lives of those children. Now, this government have not put an end to all of the difficulties that are ascertained here, or that are clarified here. What we have done is to appoint a senior Minister for Children to give a guarantee of a referendum of the people in respect of child protection, to make it mandatory that there be reporting of child abuse, to take from the care of the HSE the matter of dealing with children, and to set up a new child protection agency which will commence its work with a separate budget on the 1st of January 2013, and also to put in place a new mechanism for dealing with children who find themselves in trouble here. So, Deputy Adams, the independent report to be published today, and the Minister wanted it published so that the truth be known. The lives, the names of the children clearly are anonymised, but it is a story and a saga of shame in many respects, dealing with the lives of 196 children, 112 who had unnatural deaths, of which 17 were in the care of the HSE at the time. So what we want to do, arising from all of these facts that are now known, is to put in place procedures and practices that will ensure to the very best extent possible that this cannot happen again.
Thank you, Taoiseach. Deputy Adams.
Taoiseach, and I thank you for that response. And I also commend the authors of this report. You know, and we've seen other reports, the RAND report, the Tracy Fay report, other reports on these issues. And it is an indictment of the state that this happened. But Taoiseach, it will be an indictment, and I make this appeal to every single Teachta Dála and Shaw, it will be an indictment of all of us, regardless of our party political allegiances, if we do not, in this term, rectify these matters. And Sinn Féin has commended the work of the Minister in the appointment of this special responsibility for children and young people. So Taoiseach, will we be satisfied, or can we be satisfied that the agency to be put in place will have the resources? Well, I visited just last week one of these centres where young people are, and I met with some of the young people and I talked to the staff. There's a resource issue, a huge difficulty around capacity and social workers and the resources being provided by a government. So I would ask you, Taoiseach, to give a commitment here, and for all of us to commit ourselves to making sure that we rectify this very, very grave injustice, and that you would give a commitment that resources and capacity will be applied and supplied.
Thank you, Deputy. Taoiseach.
Yeah, I should have said, Deputy, that there were 19 deaths were of natural causes in respect to the numbers of children. But it's clear, very clear from this report, that there are really complex social issues involved here, dealing with family circumstances, dealing with pressure on young people from drink or drugs or whatever the particular backgrounds may be. Also the question of mental health and the issue that surrounds that. When you say about the resources being made available, this obviously is important. But I think it's also important, Deputy Adams, to point out that many of these children were the focus of attention of multiple agencies. It wasn't just a question of resources. It is the question of really effective response for taxpayers' money that is put into the facilities being made available through whatever agency for these children. So obviously government in its own way will reflect on the budget here. The Minister will have the new Child Protection Agency in operation from the 1st of January, and clearly government will make its own decisions about the resources being made available here. But I would stress that obviously you're not going to set up an agency that will not be effective in carrying out its responsibility. And clearly from the reading of the report, Deputy Adams, there were multiple agencies involved in the past, and children, unfortunately, were not the recipients of the kind of care and attention that they should have got in all these circumstances. So it's an issue that we would be very happy to debate here in the House or committee whenever it's appropriate. This is something that we really do want to get right. And insofar as the state can change its ways, change its structures, oversee through the Child Protection Agency the work and the care and indeed the love given that would be necessary to be given to children, that they have a life, then we will do whatever is possible to do. But this report, if you like, brings clarity and reality to a very long and sad saga. It is the duty and the responsibility of us all to see that we take a different direction, a direction for the better, for all the children, for the future. And your comments and your party's contribution to that will be welcome, the same as anybody else's.